Welcome to St Martin. We are the Pan American DC-8. Just waiting for our takeoff after this American Airlines 757, I think it is. So we will patiently wait our turn. Okay, let's get lined up. Aircraft is pretty much configured for takeoff. There's just one or two things that we'll do on the before takeoff checklist. So one of those is to set the landing lights. We will notify the cabin. And just quickly run through the checks while we line up. So the altimeters are set 1019er. The windshield heat is on warm up. Anti-ice is not required. Pitot heat is on. The trim is all set. We've got 3 degrees of nose up trim. Fuel levers are on. Boost pumps are feed only. Final EPR was calculated to be 1.86. We'll select the continuous ignition on. Anti-skid is armed and the landing lights are extended and on. So let's go. After takeoff, it's an immediate right turn. We'll fly roughly heading 200, intercept the VOR, fly out to 10 miles and then make a right turn. Takeoff thrust is set. We're flying to San Diego, so the aircraft is very heavy. That's V1. Rotate. V2. Positive climb gear up. So let's start that immediate right turn. Gain some altitude. That's a altitude alert. Level the wings and set flap 15. That's Phillipsburg, Simpson Bay down there and the airport. Lovely view. Flap 10. So climb thrust should be EPR 1.58, so I'm going to set that. Oops, we've gone through the VOR line there, let's get back on that. We'll accelerate now to the flaps up speed, which was 226, which is the line on here. Flaps up, and now I'm going to set that dial up to 250. We'll maintain 250. Remove this. Yep, the airspeed is a little bit too fast. So at 10 miles we start the right hand turn. And we're supposed to fly in a 12 DME arc from the JULNA VOR. So we'll use this to help us with that. If we roughly level off here, that should be near enough. So the next step of the departure, we've flown out, we've done the right turn, then the left, now we're about here. And we want to continue on a heading of 325 to intercept the 292 radio. So I'm going to select 292. Past 10,000 feet now. And we want to aim for about 300 knots for the climb. After takeoff checklist, ignition off. Landing lights retracted.
It is now safe to use your portable electronic device.
And the transponder is on. Radio altimeter set to 1500 feet. After takeoff checks complete. So we're roughly on that heading of 325 now. trim down a bit so we can get a bit more airspeed. So 325 is the heading that we stay on to intercept this radial here. So that's our first point, Juice. And 25 miles from Juice. I think at this point I'm going to prime the autopilot, so I'm going to ask it to hold the, just to show you, the lock VOR and vertical speed. So we'll switch on the yaw damper and then select autopilot, so that's the aircraft flying it now. One thing that we forgot to do is to switch on the radar. Which doesn't really work as a weather radar, it's a terrain radar, but it's still quite handy to have. We're a little bit to the right of 325, but that's okay. We'll get this intercepted quicker. Cloud ahead, 20 degrees outside air temperature. That's fine. This is the rack temperature.
This time we are climbing towards our cruise altitude. Please remain seated and keep your seatbelt fastened until the takeoff time.
Speed is good. There's the VOR kicking in now, so I'm hoping that the autopilot will turn to intercept that. Yep, he's kicked in now. Just going to run through some climb checks. De-icing system is not required. Climb EPR is maintained 1.58. Seatbelt and no smoking sign. I think we'll let them spark up, but keep the seatbelt on since there's some clouds in the area. Select one of the engine hydraulic pumps to bypass. Cabin compressors, switch the two on that were not switched on. And air conditioning looks to be fine. Cabin altitude is climbing. We're now 8 miles from Juice. The desired track is 284. Let's just reselect that. 286. Okay, so at this point I'm going to switch over to INS navigation. Select our initial climb altitude, which I should have done before. Our initial climb altitude is 340. So outside air temperature is 20 degrees. I'm just going to recheck the climb EPR. 20 degrees, it wants to be 1.65, so we can actually get a bit more climb power out of these engines now. sensitive. Okay, speed is exceeding 300, so we'll request a higher rate of ascent. Flight we're through the cloud. Seatbelt sign off. So we're now flying to the second waypoint. Which is LARP. And quick check of the fuel situation. We were expecting to have 99.2 thousand pounds of fuel at Juice, and we've got 95.1, so we did burn more on the departure. 95.1, but that's normal, and we can expect to make it up throughout the rest of the flight. Let's reduce the rate of ascent a bit. We're a bit optimistic there with that extra power. The engine's back. And just to continue on the climb checks, so fuel management. Got a nice and easy tank to engine config today. I'm going to set standard pressure. We should have done that a lot before, I think. 23,000 feet. Lost too much airspeed, so I'm going to bring that back some more. And that's pretty much it. That's the departure. Let's have a look outside. Not a bad day for it at all.